What's going on, guys? PhillipAndWorld here, and in today's video I want to show you guys how to make a quick and easy panfish or crappie rig that you can use almost anywhere. And mainly this focuses off of if you're fishing off a boat, or if you're fishing off of like a dock or something like that. This is where this setup or rig works really well. Let's go ahead and get into what you guys are going to need to set up this rig. First of all, you're going to need your fishing rod. The type of fishing rod doesn't really matter, but if you really want the best fishing action, you're probably going to want to go with an ultralight rod with a super small reel, and it's maybe like around 3 to 4 pound test line. You can even go lighter if you feel like it, but you know, it gets difficult when you go lighter. The next one you're going to need is you're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. You're also going to need something to cut the line with. You're going to need a bobber. I highly recommend this kind of bobber. If you ever find them in stores, it's called wing it bobbers, as you can see right there. It's a really small and light bobber, and I find it the best one for this specific type of rig. But you can also go with another kind of spring-loaded fishing bobber. I got this one at Walmart for $1. And you can also go with those traditional ball-shaped. They're like red and white, or they can be orange and white. Those kind of bobbers work as well. And you're also going to need your panfish jig. Now the color doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, it does matter, but you're going to have to figure out that one on your own, which one works the best at your specific location you're fishing at. But I just go ahead and grabbed a random color just to show you guys how to do this. And yeah, that's all you're going to need. And now we're going to get ready to actually set up the rig. Now to start off, you're going to want to go ahead and take your fishing rod and run your line from your reel through the eyes of the rod, and make sure to go all the way through. And that's the first step, and after you're done with that, you're ready for the next step. So once you have the line running through the fishing rod, you want to go ahead and take that line, and because my line was only 3 pound test, the camera wouldn't pick it up that well, so I went and go ahead and got a different pound test line that's easier to see. And now what you want to do is grab your fishing jig here, go ahead and run that line through the hook. Like so. And now what you want to do is take the line that you just ran through the hook, bring it back to the main line, holding it like this. Should look something like this. Try to make this line a little bit smaller. So you should have something that looks like this. Now this is where it gets a little bit complicated. You're gonna take your jig and you're gonna make a little knot here. Here, I'll try to do that again for you guys so you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it like this. You're gonna take the sometimes the plastic comes off a little bit. But anyways, you're gonna take your jig and you're gonna run it back over like this, and then pulling the jig through. And do this twice. And it forms a little knot like this. This is a lot harder to do with a bigger pound test line because it doesn't want to work with you that well. And you should end up with something like this. And I know this is a lot harder to do with a bigger pound test line because the line is harder to do the knots with. But you should end up with something like this. And the reason you want this is because when the jig is just tied, if you have a knot that's tied straight to the eye of the hook, it won't move around like this. And you want the line to move around like this in the water. Or not the line, the jig to move around like this in the water, so it gives more action. So that's why we do that kind of knot. Now with the excessive line, you can go ahead and just cut that off. Make sure to leave a few centimeters of line, so that way when this knot tightens up, it won't untie itself. And once you have this done, you're pretty much done with the setup. Now you're just ready to apply the fishing bobber And let's go ahead and get on to the next step. Alright, now that you have your fishing jig tied on, you're ready to apply the bobber. Now I don't know what type of body of water you're fishing, so finding the depth you want to fish at with the fishing jig is going to be on your own part. But to apply one of these spring-loaded bobbers, all you have to do is just pull down the spring, which exposes this little knot or gap right here. And you want to stick your line to that. And all you do is let go of the spring, and it should hold the bobber in place there. Now, what I found out was when you just stick the line through there once, the bobber moves around easily. If you have a small pound test line, what you do is you just take the line and you just run it through that gap twice, and that secures the bobber in there. So every time you cast or whatnot, you're not going to worry about it coming off, which does happen. I've lost so many bobbers like that. And yeah, so now that you have the bobber and the fishing jig on, you're ready for the next step. You're probably sitting there wondering, like, what's the next step? I already have the fishing jig and the bobber tied on, and I don't see what else more you can do. Well, actually, the next step is actually something you have to do with the fishing jig, and this is kind of a pro tip. You can go ahead and just end the video now and go on with your own things, but this is a tip I'm giving you guys that I learned from another pro. You see how like these whiskers, or I don't know what you want to call them, these tails, you see how like they're really long? What a lot of the pros do during the summer, specifically during the summer, because the fish, they like these whiskers a little shorter. What you can do is you can just cut off, make sure only like cut off like half of it off, like so. And what it does is it makes this shorter, and for some reason the fish, they like that shortness of it, and it just gives them a little bit more action, and they'll just hit it every time. And also another thing you can do is with the hook. You see how like the hook is a little bit curved down. What a lot of them do is they take their pliers and they just pull it up a little. And you have to be careful when doing this because you could also break the hook. But you want to bend the hook a little bit more up, and that way it'll increase your chances of hooking one of the fish. So something like this. And once you have that done, you're pretty much done with this rig, and you're ready to go out and fishing. So if you guys like this rig I showed you, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, and you can also see all my other cool videos and how-tos on how to do these awesome rigs. And be sure to also give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to also comment down on what you guys thought about the rig. And if you have any more questions, I look at almost every comment and I always reply. So be sure to leave your questions down below. Hope you guys have a good day. Good luck out on your fishing trip, and I'll see you guys in my next video.